Hello, Steve Mills here. Great to be here and great to be back on my Results Masterclass podcast. It's been a little while again. I do apologise. Been so busy doing live sessions, running events. I'm now doing a LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live and a YouTube Live every single day, Monday to Friday. So if you want to catch those, that would be fantastic. But anyway, here we are. Welcome. It's great to see you. Oh, actually not to see you. It's great that you are listening to me. Thank you. And I really do appreciate it. And my pledge to you is to try to make sure that I give you some great value. Now, I'm here on Sunday. I'm not sure what date it is, to be honest, but it's the end of May in 2013. I'm sat on the Isle of Wight in my beautiful garden. I've got a well down the bottom of my garden with a beautiful, I think it's an apple tree. I'm not quite sure, actually. We've only just moved in here, but we're in a stunning part of the world. We really are in this beautiful little village right in the middle of the Isle of Wight. But you didn't, log in to listen to all that. But I just wanted to give you a picture of where I am. Results mastery. I want to clarify a couple of things before I talk about this. Firstly, I've got a program called Results Mastery. Members get access to me on a one-to-one basis. They get access to a group that I run, a mastermind group every week. They get an online marketing plan, and they get access to something I call Results School, which is a place where they can go and learn and gain experience and knowledge to help them to grow their business. So that's what Results Mastery is. But today I'm talking about Results Mastery as a concept. Let me explain. What do I mean, or what do you think of when you think of Results Mastery? For me, I'll give you my version of that. Well, it's about results, clearly, because that's the first word of the title. So it's about results. So what sort of results? Well, I would assume as it's about mastery, it's about getting the best results. It's not about, getting poor results, certainly. Average is, if you get average results, I think you get poor rewards. If you get excellent, you're better than normal, you perhaps get okay or even good rewards. But the truth is, the real where you get all the rewards is when you get to a level called mastery. Not when you're an expert. I don't actually believe anybody is an expert. So the definition of an expert is that you know everything. And I certainly don't know everything about marketing, and I never will. And I believe neither does anybody. There is no such thing as a marketing expert, in my opinion. Now, why do I say that? Well, even if you're an expert today, then tomorrow you're probably not going to be an expert, because there's going to be something else that you don't even know about come into fruition. And, that happens right now. It's almost on a daily basis. Certainly every week there's a new piece of software, there's a new AI, there's a new concept, a new way of marketing, and so on and so forth. And when you're a full-time marketer like I am, and you've been doing it for 28 years like I have, yes, you're pretty much at the cutting edge, assuming you've been learning like I have and spent over £150,000 of my own money on marketing training. Then you may be at the cutting edge, but for most small business owners, this is a real challenge, getting to grips with marketing and becoming good at it. So I think we've defined it. We've said it's about getting results. It's about getting to a level called mastery. Not knowing everything. Nobody knows everything, but knowing more. I suppose ultimately it's about knowing more than your competition. That's really the level you need to be at. Because if you think about, growing your business, if you're serious about growing your business, then there's only one way, really, and that is to increase your profit. That's it. Okay, you say, well, I could buy another business. So you buy another business in order to increase your profit. That's why you're doing it. So ultimately, the purpose of a business is to make a profit. That's why we're here. Even if you're a charity, even if your profit is going to go into, helping people in other parts of the world or in the UK, even if it's that, then you still need to focus on profit. So if it is about profit, and it is, then how do you make more profit? Well, there's only really two ways of doing that. Firstly is to reduce costs. Now, you can reduce costs probably right now. You can go and save yourself something. You can cut costs. You can, just turn the lights out, and that's going to help reduce costs. But there's, I believe, only so much you can cut. Perhaps you can cut 10%, perhaps you can cut 20%. Fantastic. But if you can't, then, and that's only 5%, then, that's still a good thing to do. So, I strongly recommend do an audit of your business, find out what you've could save, and then look at the flip side of that, and that is to increase sales. So you can reduce costs, that's step one, and you can increase sales. They're the only two ways. Now, there's only three ways of increasing sales. One is you get more customers. Two is you increase the average transaction value, or the average amount of money each customer spends each time they buy from you. And three, you increase the frequency of repurchase, so you get them to come back more often. So in a supermarket metaphor, you need to get more people in the door. You need to get them to fill their baskets more, or with more expensive goods, and you need to get them to come back and only buy from you and not from the other supermarkets. That is it. That is the whole ball of wax. So if you're going to do that, then what's this results mastery about? As I've already explained, it's about mastering your results. So what do I mean? Let me take just one element of your marketing and talk to you about mastery, how to master in that area. Now, what I'm going to talk about is, because I'm a marketing guy, I'm going to talk about marketing. Now, the marketing, I believe, should be known in a different term. It should be known as lead generation, because that's what it is. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about leads, the number of leads that you get. And if you looked at your leads right now, you're perhaps getting leads from your website, maybe from social media, perhaps you're getting leads from email marketing, you may be going networking, getting leads, you may be getting leads from referral, from word of mouth, you might be doing the odd exhibition and getting some leads from there, and so on and so forth. So you've got a whole variety of what I call streams of income, some of which are just literally trickles of income, and others are rivers of income. You with me on that? So a trickle could be Facebook. You're on there, but you don't really win any business or very much business from it. A river could be LinkedIn. It could be working fantastic for you, and you're making, $250,000 a year on LinkedIn. Either way, we need to get to a level called mastery. If it's doing well, then how could it do better? If it's doing terrible, then definitely how could it do better? Because what I can tell you, based on my 28 years experience, is all marketing works, but it doesn't work all the time. Facebook advertising works, period. Absolutely, definitely works. But it doesn't always work. Email works, absolutely it does. We win over $100,000 a year from email marketing. But it doesn't always work. Not every email creates business. And not every company who does email marketing creates business. Why is that? Because they've not got to a level called mastery. They're probably at a level called poor or maybe good. which is okay, which produces average results. What we've got to do is improve. So, that said, let me just talk about one example. Let me tell you this. I hear people all the time telling me, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't do very much. Or the other alternative is they tell me, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't really understand it. I don't really know how to win business from it. And when I ask them about their results, they tell me, well, no, I don't win any business from LinkedIn, Steve. Can you see the problem? They either don't understand it or they're not doing very much. You know, what sort of rewards do you get? You know, if I was trying to be a good, a tennis player, and I went down to the tennis courts and didn't do much practicing and didn't have a coach to help me to practice in the right way, what sort of results do you think I'd get? How good would I be at tennis? I'd be absolutely useless because I'm not really practicing very much or very hard, and I don't have anybody to help me. And that's the case with 99.999% of the businesses that I come across. They don't know what to do, and even if they did, they don't have the time, they don't like it, I don't like social media. Do you know what? I don't like it. The day I retire will be the day I close everything down. Everything. It'll all go. I do it because I want to grow my business. I do it because I'm dedicated to helping people. I want to help people to grow their business. That's why I post 5, 6, 7, 10 times per day on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on and so forth. That's why I do LinkedIn Lives and Facebook Lives and YouTube Lives every single day. When I say every day, I don't do the weekends and bank holidays, but other than that, pretty much every day. And, you know, that's the difference. Marketing's about taking action, but it's also about taking the right action. So again, let's look at LinkedIn. So I'm going to assume that you're on LinkedIn, but you're not doing very much. So the first thing we need to do would be, if we were striving for mastery, is to sort your profiles out. You know, what does your personal profile look like, and what does your business profile look like? You know, are they as good as possible? Are they at a level called mastery? If they're okay, then probably not so good. So what would we do there? We might change the banner, we might change the picture, we'd probably change the headline, we might increase or improve the words on your site, we might try and get you a load more testimonials or recommendations, as LinkedIn calls them. We might look at you doing some events and getting involved in that. We might look at the number of people you're currently connected to and go and find a load more people every day. So maybe connecting to another 10 or another 100 people per day in order to grow your database, the number of people who see your information. We may then start at looking at what we need to do in order to keep in touch with people, because, you know, there's very little value in having loads of people that you're connected to on LinkedIn that don't even know you. Why would you do that? So we've got to keep in touch with them. How often? On a very, very regular basis. People often, you know, post once a week on LinkedIn. Give me a break. You know, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's like going to the gym once a week and doing 3 curls and trying to get fit. It just ain't going to happen. And if it does, it's going to take you 20 years in order to do that. And anyway, you'd only have one muscle that was at least fit. So we've got to go down there on a regular basis. You know, consistency is the king to excellence. You know, consistency is the king to mastery. You know, you've got to be there. You know, it's no use being able to serve at 140 mile an hour at tennis occasionally. You only get 1 in 50 in. You know, you've got to be able to do it consistently. You've got to be able to get 60, 70, 80% of them in order to get, you know, world-class results, which is a level called mastery. So take a look at that. Take a look also at groups on LinkedIn. Most people go, oh, well, I've heard of groups, but, I'm in a couple, but I don't do anything. You need to start doing groups. One of the quickest, easiest ways to overcome the biggest problem that you've got in your business right now, and I can tell you, even though I don't know you, that problem is obscurity. How do I know that? And I'm talking about small businesses here. Nike doesn't have a problem with obscurity. Neither does Apple, neither does Vodafone, neither does Coca-Cola. They've overcome that problem, that biggest problem they've got. And for us in small businesses, we simply haven't. Nobody knows about you. In my world, let me just tell you about my world, right? Okay, so I've got about 80,000 people that are connected to me through one social media or another. I'm also able to deliver an email out to probably about 7,000 people. Okay, I then advertising to probably about 100,000. So let's be positive and say Steve has got access right now to 200,000 people. Now, I can tell you that is way, way above 99% of small businesses. But if you look at it in context, just in the UK, right, just in the UK, there are over 3 million businesses. 3 million businesses, and I've only got 200,000 of them. What's my problem? Obscurity. Nobody's heard of me. When I say nobody, I mean not enough people have heard of me, and I need to be working on improving the awareness of me and what I do. I need to get to a level where I am the key person of influence. I am the known expert in my market. That's what I want to get to. Some of you may know of a guy in the helping industry as a consultant, a coach, an advisor, whose name is Tony Robbins. Probably the most successful consultant, coach, advisor, trainer, whatever you want to call him, in the world right now, with a turnover of 7 billion a year. Now, I know that's not enough to live on, but it's not a bad start, is it? Let's face it. And I say that obviously very tongue-in-cheek. But, Tony's done fantastic. But when he started, Tony's biggest problem was getting 10 people into a room. Now his biggest problem is finding a room big enough for 15,000 people to attend his events. That's a bigger problem, but it's a lot better problem to have, I'm sure. So, think about what that means to you in terms of your business and where you are. And when I say that, I mean in terms of, obscurity. Is that a problem for you? If it is, then you need to work on that. That's a key part of your LinkedIn marketing, developing that side of it. Now, to be honest, I could go on and on. I could list another 10 things that you need to do on LinkedIn. Another one would be you need to get recommended. How many recommendations have you got on LinkedIn? Well, I've got about 150. Now, again, I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you. So what do I do with that? Well, it's on LinkedIn. I post out telling people about that occasionally, probably once or twice a week. It's on my website. All those recommendations can be found on my website. I've also turned it into a PDF, so I can send that out to prospective clients. They get a PDF that's really nicely designed, and they can read that. And I appreciate they're not going to read all 150 testimonials, but the perception of it is that Steve knows what he's talking about, which I hope by now you think I do, by the way. And that's just one element of this. What about Facebook? What about Twitter? What about YouTube? What about your website? What about your email marketing? What about each and every element of everything that you do? And we're just talking about marketing here. What about your customer service? What about your financial management? You know, more people go bust because of lack of sales than any other thing. Forget what any accountant will tell you. That is the whole ball of wax. But the second most important, or second biggest failing, is poor cash flow management. So, you know, we need to think about that and look at your financial side of your business as well. What about people and people management? What about customer care? You know, all the different elements of that you need to get to a level called mastery. Now, we can't do this all at once. We know that. We can't do it overnight either. It is going to take a lot of work. It is not a magic bullet. But what I can do, and I've been doing for 28 years, working in thousands of businesses in hundreds of industries, is I can help. You know, I could be your coach. I could be your mentor. I could be the person who pushes you, who advises you, who knows all the mistakes, who's made most of them, and who will enable you to take some shortcuts rather than it taking 6 months to realize this doesn't work. I'll be able to help you cut that down to perhaps a few weeks. But anyway, that's beside the point. If you want to know more about my mastery program, I'd love to get you on it. I've got to say, I know I can help you. I know I'm going to get you results. Just to give you some idea, the total cost of the program, if you choose to pay for it monthly, is $3,588 right now. It is going to go up, and that's just not marketing bullshit. It is going to go up, okay? But right now, that's what it costs. Now, if you work out your ROI, what you got to say to yourself right now is, would working with Steve make me more than £3,588? If it would, it just makes total and utter sense to do that. Now, I would suggest, if you're a startup, we should be aiming to get you to 50 grand in the first 6 months. And ideally, maybe pushing towards 100 grand in 12. If you're an established business, perhaps a consultant, you've been going for a while, you're turning over 50, 70 grand, I'd have thought there was another 50 to 100 grand in it for you as well in the first year. I'm not talking about in 5 years' time. I'm talking about in the first year. If you're bigger than that, 250, 500, I'd be setting your sights on hitting that 7 figures. And if you're above that, then, let's look at 8 figures perhaps. But the bottom line is, I will make you more money than I cost you by a significant amount. And if you want to find out more, go to my website, steve-mills.com. Get yourself booked into a meeting with me. We can have a conversation. There'll be no hard sell. And to be honest, it just sells itself. I don't need to sell it hard. All I'm going to do is ask you about your business, where you are right now, what are you doing right now, where you want to go, and then perhaps we'll even start putting together a plan to help you to get there. So that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to sharing some more tried, tested and proven ways in which you can grow your business on my next podcast. Thanks very much.